What's up, everybody? It's the Alex Leak and Friends NFL podcast back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We got Dustin on the show as always. What's up, man?
What's up, bro? Thanks for having me, man. We are getting down to the nitty gritty here.
Yeah, this is my favorite time of the year. I mean, for a lot of teams, it's already the playoffs. You got to win out at this point. Teams like Green Bay and, a lot of teams like that with their backs against the wall. And it's the best time of year when you start to see like who the playoff teams are, and you start to see who are the real teams and who separates themselves from the crowd.
Yep, absolutely.
So let's get started with Thursday night. Raiders at Rams. The Rams have been so bad up until this point, and then they go and they claim Baker Mayfield off of waivers. First of all, were you surprised when the Rams claimed Baker Mayfield?
I was, because I thought it would be a team that, you know, needs a quarterback to either stay in the playoff race or, you know, a team that is trying to make the playoffs.
Yeah. And my first thought was maybe they just did this to block their rival, the 49ers, from getting him. But, John Wolford's been banged up. Stafford's done for the year. And with that Bryce Perkins or whatever, he's been hurt too. So they actually did need a quarterback. John, I wanted Baker Mayfield to start this game. That's what I was excited for. I was like, that's the only chance this game has of being good is if Baker Mayfield gets the start. John Wolford gets the start, but he only plays one series and hands the ball off three times, doesn't even throw the ball. What do you think of that decision? Why are you going to start a quarterback and not even throw a pass and then pull him? Like, why not just start Baker?
Yeah, that was kind of weird. I mean, that's a question I can't answer, but I just figured maybe they felt like Baker didn't learn the offense or something at first. I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I mean, he had only been there a day and a half. And so, guarantee you, he didn't know the offense that well. It's very similar to what he was running in Cleveland, but the verbiage is different and all that. So, they had to set something up so that he could grasp it a little bit. And to his credit, he comes out and does work. The Raiders were up 16-3 in the fourth quarter. Everything was going to script. And then Baker Mayfield leads the Rams on a 98-yard game-winning touchdown drive with less than 2 minutes left in the game to win 17-16. How about that game-winning drive from Baker? Going 98 yards, it doesn't get more difficult than that, starting at your own two. And Baker showing, just showing his big balls on that drive, not afraid to make any throws. And for a guy that just got on the team, he looked comfortable, didn't he?
Absolutely. I mean, he was that's the Baker that we know can play very well,
Yeah.
and I liked it. I
Yeah,
mean,
it was fun.
it was also, just got a little bit of help by Jerry Tillery and causing that penalty, but that happens.
Yeah, for Vegas, right?
Yep.
That just seems to be the Raiders, man. They seem to always make mental mistakes that cost them games. I mean, how many times this year alone have we said that's a game the Raiders should have won?
Yep, I agree.
They just do that nonstop, and that's a reason they're 5-8. They were on a 3-game winning streak, and if they take care of the Rams, you get to a 4-game winning streak. You're back to 500, and you're right there in the heart of the playoff race. But you blow this game, and now you're practically out of it. You'd have to win out and then hope for some help. And um, as much hype that I gave the Raiders in the offseason, they absolutely did not live up to it. What do you think of this Raiders team? And I don't think Josh McDaniels gets fired, but man, it doesn't look good for him, does it?
No, absolutely not. I mean, especially this being, another stint. He had another chance to prove that he can, be a good head coach. But it's this Raiders team is way more talented than being 5-8.
Absolutely.
And is it crazy to say maybe it's time to move on from Derek Carr?
Well, I mean, he didn't have a good game. He throws for less than 150 yards, zero touchdowns, two picks. I don't think Derek Carr is the problem necessarily. I mean, the weird thing is this Raiders team made the playoffs last year, and then you add Devontae Adams, and you expect, now they should be contenders. Um, you know, I don't know what it is. I'm gonna put most of the blame on Josh McDaniels because he's the easy target. I mean, the way things went in Denver his first time as a head coach, it looks very similar to the way things are going now, right?
Yes.
So it's easy for me to point to Josh McDaniels. If I'm the Raiders, I give Derek Carr the benefit of the doubt and see if he can, do better next year. I don't think he's the big problem that's holding them back. And then how about Devontae Adams, man? He was kind of cooking Jalen Ramsey in this game. Had an incredible one-handed catch early in the game, and you know, anytime they threw it to him, he was cooking Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah. I mean, bro, Adams is one of the best in the league, and that's expected. But man, we got to talk about Josh Jacobs, man. He is really balling this year.
Yeah, he's an absolute beast. I've been a fan of his since Bama.
Yeah, he's had, again, over 100 and some all purpose yards, 99 rushing. So it's like, man,
Hmm. Yeah, he just continues to do his thing. For the Raiders, they're gonna host the Patriots in Week 15. The 6-6 Patriots, actually 7-6 now. 7-6 Patriots at the 5-8 Raiders. I think the Raiders are about shot. So this is a big opportunity for New England to put together back-to-back wins and get themselves, they're technically still alive in this playoff race, right?
yeah, I mean, I would say so.
Yeah. So if they can go into Vegas and get a big win, there's an opportunity. But um, it's such a week to week league, you never know what you're gonna expect. For the Rams, they fall to 4-9. How about that record? The defending champs are 4-9 right now, Dustin.
That's that's crazy because they're another team with hella talent that's just underachieved.
Yeah. And some of it is, injuries and stuff like that. But yeah, no one would have expected that bad of a year from the Rams. They're gonna go to Lambeau to take on the 5-8 Packers on Monday Night Football. Talk about a big game, huh?
Oh yeah, that's a pretty big one.
Yeah.
That's
So
a win for Green Bay.
it's a must win.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't realize it was on Monday night. I kept seeing that on the schedule, and I was like, that's going to be a big game. But on Monday Night Football, a game that Green Bay needs to absolutely win. I agree, it's a must win. But
Yeah.
if you look at it, the Packers aren't technically dead yet, and they could potentially win out. And if they finish 9-8, who knows? Maybe they get the 7 seed.
Yeah, I mean, it's all up in the air, all of a sudden some of these conferences in the NFC were looking good. Now you got teams falling like the Giants,
Yep, like the
they've
Seahawks.
yeah,
Seems like that.
yeah, there's still hope for Green Bay.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Sunday. Let's start with the Jets at the Bills. A big game. 7-5 Jets at the 9-3 Bills, and the Jets looking for the sweep. But they start Mike White again. The Bills lead 20-7 in the fourth quarter and hang on to win 20-12 in snowy Buffalo over the Jets. The Bills avoid the sweep, so they split the season series with the New York Jets. Um, Bills get to 10-3. How are you feeling about the Bills right now compared to how you thought about them in the preseason? Is everything about the same?
Well, I mean, I thought they would be more dominant than what they are. You
Yeah.
know, like right now they're winning close games, and teams that they should be beating on, they're struggling with. But I still believe, and I'm still sticking with my pick that that's my pick to win the Super Bowl.
All right. I mean, yeah, they're definitely a contender for sure. How about Bills defensive end Gregory Rousseau records 2 sacks and a forced fumble, career high 7 sacks so far this year. doing his thing.
Yeah.
And they need him to step up with Von Miller gone. Greg Rousseau needs to be the guy to step up along with Ed Oliver, right?
Oh yeah. You got to have those guys because man, Von Miller's a big loss, and those are some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike White, I mean, he, throws for 250 plus yards, no touchdowns, no turnovers. We've been saying this week to week, every week so far since the move was made. In your opinion, who gives the Jets their best chance to make the playoffs? Mike White or Zach Wilson?
Oh, without a question, Zach Wilson.
Yeah, but I mean the media and some fans are trying to flip that narrative. Some are saying they'd rather have Mike White. I disagree. I mean, I think Zach Wilson's the more talented of the two quarterbacks, right?
For sure.
So we'll see if the Jets end up making a move. I mean, they're trending towards. Do you think that this move is what's going to keep them out of the playoffs? I mean, they're back-to-back losses, 7-6. Um, you know, they were in a lot better position before the move, right?
Yeah, yeah, they most definitely were, and I mean, like, this was pretty much, in my opinion, a must win for both of the teams because they're. I think the Bills would have been in a little bit of trouble when it came for home field advantage, you
Yeah,
know, and getting swept by the Bills, and then the Jets needed this win to stay alive, because it's getting close down there. If you look at the playoff seedings and the teams in the hunt, none of them 6 or 7 seeds can really afford to keep losing.
yeah, I agree. And Jets are 7-6, but last place in that division. So up against it now. Um, this is a big game. So did you see there's like 3 games on Saturday this week 15?
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I mean, it gives me something to do.
Absolutely. I'm excited. It's like 2 days in a row of NFL football. Uh 3 games on Saturday, and to cap it all off, the best game of the day, Saturday night, the 8-5 Dolphins at the 10-3 Bills. You gotta be hyped for that one.
I do, man. I just love watching the Bills play. I mean, because I'm a big fan of Josh Allen. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be good. And I know the Dolphins will be coming up later, but let me say, man, they had me worried when I was calling them legit contenders after Sunday.
Yeah, and I if you remember my take on the Dolphins, remember when I was comparing them to last year's Cardinals?
Yeah,
I mean, and I said this on the podcast last week. If they didn't beat the Chargers, they're staring right down the barrel of a 3-game losing streak at the worst time of the season. December, when you're trying to go into the playoffs on a hot note, even make the playoffs. The Dolphins are looking at 8-6 and a 3-game losing streak if they don't win in Buffalo on Saturday night. That's a tough task, isn't it?
bro, that's a major task.
Yeah. I
And
I mean,
like
yeah.
to me, if you look, it's like neck and neck right now between the Bills and Chiefs for home field advantage.
Yep. Yeah, and
And
so the Bills aren't going to be sleeping. They can't afford to lose because then they get swept on the season by the Dolphins. So the Bills and they're chasing with the Chiefs for number one. So the Bills absolutely have to show up for this game. I mean, I'm taking Buffalo at home. How about you?
oh yeah, I'm going Buffalo all the way. Go
So
Bills.
let's say the Dolphins do fall to 8-6 and on a 3-game losing streak. Are you worried then?
I'm gonna have to be, bro,
Yeah,
because you know, 8-6 and uh give me 1 second to pop up their schedule real quick.
I got you too. Yeah, I'll pull it up on mine. They play the Packers next, I'm pretty sure.
Ooh, that's a very losable game too.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
Packers and Patriots, that might be, and Jets, bro. That's gonna be a tough stretch.
Yeah. There's no easy, getting into the playoffs. There's no backing into the playoffs. And when the Dolphins were 3-0, and they had all that momentum and Tua and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and all these weapons, And now you fast forward to now, if they're 8-6 on a 3-game losing streak, they're gonna have a lot of bad momentum, right? A lot of negative momentum.
Most definitely. And you know, again, they're another team that is way too talented to be eight. They're 8-5, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And Tua's got to play better. The way he played on Sunday was just not going to be good enough.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk more about that here coming up. But yeah, I was not impressed. And I'm not a fan of that head coach. I keep calling him Mark McDaniel because of Mark Trestman. And Trestman. But the thing is, Trestman did the exact same thing. If you remember, the Bears had the number 2 offense in all of football in 2013, and Trestman was the head coach. And late in the year, if the Bears took care of business, they would have made the playoffs. But instead, they got blown out by the Eagles and lost a big Week 17 game against Green Bay and missed the playoffs. And that's the same thing. It's like if you don't execute late in the season, the last couple of weeks, you can easily. That's a big difference between making the playoffs and not.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, also for the Jets, they're 7-6, and they're gonna host the Red Hot 6-7 Lions. Um, I mean, I keep picking against the Lions. They keep proving me wrong. How about this week? I'll let you make your pick first. Lions going into MetLife in December. Could be some bad weather. How do you see this game going?
Man, I think it's time that we start at least acknowledging the Lions, okay?
Yeah.
We don't have to crown them or nothing, but we can at least acknowledge that they can probably go in there and be spoilers to some of these teams.
Yeah. They're playing hard. They're playing good football right now. I'll give them credit. And we're going to talk a little bit more about them coming up. But the biggest key to me, honestly, is Jared Goff. And I didn't see this coming. And there's some really high praise for him right now, and kind of justifiably so. I mean, I'm not sure if I've seen Jared Goff play this good of football in his career. You know,
Yeah. Um
so
I and bro, credit well, we'll get to them, so I'm just gonna save it for that.
so yeah. I mean, Lions Jets. That's kind of a toss up game. You're gonna take the Lions.
I am because, again, I just don't trust Mike White to be able to be the guy to lead them into the playoffs, bro.
Me neither. But I do like the Jets defense and Sauce Gardner. You put Sauce Gardner on a Monra and say the other guys beat us, and you plug up that line, win the point of attack at the line and make things difficult for Jamal Williams. Give me the Jets by 3 points in a low scoring, hard fought battle in New York. But eventually I'm gonna have to stop picking against the Lions if they keep proving me wrong.
And they're
Um, they're doing it.
yeah.
Yeah. 5-7 Browns at the 8-4 Bengals. I believe this is the first ever Deshaun Watson against Joe Burrow matchup. Watson's still a little rusty after all that time off. The Bengals jump out to a 20-3 third quarter lead, hang on to win 23-10. Bengals get to 9-4. They're right there with the Ravens for the number 1 seed in the AFC North. Um, they're firing on all cylinders. How are you feeling about the Bengals? You picked the Bengals to win the division. I picked the Ravens. Who do you think's going to actually win this thing?
Man, this is close, Alex, but the Bengals are impressing me. I don't know about you, but the Bengals are looking pretty damn good right now.
They are. I mean, beating the Chiefs, a couple weeks ago was very impressive. And then the Ravens are battling it. They're having quarterback issues. They're hoping Tyler Huntley can go next week, and Lamar Jackson's been hurt. They need Lamar back as soon as possible.
See, I agree, and that's what worries me about Baltimore is, bro, Lamar's play style just worries me. Like I don't know if he's gonna be able to stay healthy for the playoffs or not.
Yeah, this might piss some Ravens fans off, but I think me and you would agree right now. Who would you trust more to win and go deep in the playoffs, the Bengals or the Ravens?
Well, I mean, we've already seen it, right?
Yeah,
The
we
Bengals.
saw it last year.
Yep. And Joe Burrow is playing at an MVP level, bro.
Hmm. I mean, he had to go into Tennessee and win, had to go into Arrowhead and win, you know? So,
So,
um,
can I just ask you one question?
yeah.
You remember when you thought the Bengals may have went on like a fluky little run? Do you believe now that that was a real run?
When last year?
Yeah.
Because what? Because I don't think it's that fluky. Um if I said that, I shouldn't have because it's it's very difficult to win in January and especially to go into Arrowhead. I mean, I don't think it's fluky and they played the Rams very hard. You know, that was the Bengals almost won that Super Bowl, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
So,
if it wasn't for a holding penalty on the defense, Bengals might have made that fourth down and goal stop, and Joe Burrow's having a Super Bowl champion right now.
yeah, and so I can't call it fluky. If I did, I misspoke, right? Because it's quality wins, and I like Joe Burrow. You know, he killed it at LSU. I like Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. They got weapons, man. So no, I don't think it's fluky. I think they're a real team, and the Ravens better get healthy quick if they're going to win that division, right?
Yeah,
How do you
absolutely.
how do you feel about the Browns? It's nice to see Deshaun Watson back. You're getting a kind of a picture of what the Browns are capable of. It's a big offseason to build the offense around Deshaun Watson. Um, but how are you feeling about the Browns?
I mean, the Browns were where I thought they would be. I thought they would be better, but I made that prediction when Watson had his 6 game suspension. I thought he'd be back sooner, but I
Yeah,
mean they're hanging in there. They have a damn good defense, but
yeah.
unfortunately, right now Watson is just rusty. And I think it's going to take him the rest of the season to get used to playing again.
And credit to the Bengals as they hold running back Nick Chubb to just 54 yards combined.
Yeah,
So,
that's easy to do.
yeah. On Saturday, I believe afternoon, Saturday during the day, 9-4 Ravens at the 5-8 Browns. Another really good game.
Yeah, and that's a sneaky game where the Browns could play spoiler too.
I agree because if you don't take the Browns seriously, they'll at least run on you all day. You know, you have to come prepared to tackle Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt
Is that in Baltimore, did you say, or is that at the dog pound?
at the dog pound.
Oh man, give me Cleveland then.
I know I'm leaning Cleveland as well. It sounds like Tyler Huntley is going to be able to play, but if not, you're looking at Anthony Brown, the undrafted quarterback, making a start.
Yeah. Sorry, Pablo.
Yeah, I mean, the Ravens got a big win against the Steelers that we're going to talk about, and their defense is keeping them in games. The Bengals 9-4. Here's a big game on Sunday. 9-4 Bengals at the 6-7 Bucks.
Ooh.
Give me the Bucks, but they better bring it. You know, the Bucks can't seem to string two good games in a row together. But they are capable of winning a big game. So give me the Bucks, Brady to outduel Joe Burrow, but man, Tampa Bay better bring it, you know?
I'm going Bengals, bro. And right now, the Bucks are getting lucky because they're in such a terrible division.
Yeah, but at some point the Bucks are gonna have to start playing better, you know, and if they keep losing these games, they might not win that division. So to me, it's when the pressure is on and their backs are up against it, the Bucks seem to play better. When they're trying to take two steps forward is when they trip up. So we'll see. I got the Bucks though. It's a big game. It's kind of a must win for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, with Tom Brady, bro, you just never know.
Yep. Um, this is so Houston Texans at the Dallas Cowboys, and this is case in point why I don't trust the Cowboys. It's easy. I understand it's easy to sleep on the Texans and feel like you're just gonna blow them out. But the Cowboys did not come prepared for this game and damn near lost it, trailing 23-17 in the third. They barely survived 27-23 on that turnover on downs. Um, Dak with a couple interceptions. Um, the Cowboys have to start playing some better football as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but at the same time, in this league, bro, December, a win is a win. You know,
Yeah,
it don't matter. I mean, they look sloppy, but I think they just underestimated Houston, and they're not the only. Houston played Philly tough for a minute.
yeah.
Houston has been in these games with these good teams. They're just a bad team. They can't finish, and they turn the ball over.
Yeah, and I think it starts with quarterback. The Texans need a quarterback. Davis Mills isn't it, and Kyle Allen isn't it. So we'll see if they can upgrade that position. Maybe go get Bryce Young or Caleb Williams in the draft. Um,
Uh, Caleb Williams is only a sophomore, so he'll be 2024 draft.
okay, or CJ Stroud or even Will Levis, but the Cowboys cannot play that bad and expect to win in week 15 in Jacksonville. Jags coming off a
Ooh,
big win. Jacksonville will beat you if you're not ready, right?
absolutely, especially in Jacksonville.
Yeah, yep. So, sneaky good game. Cowboys at Jags. I think it will be a close game.
I
And
know my
then go ahead.
I know my pick for that game, and it might surprise you.
You going Jacksonville?
Absolutely.
I think I agree with you. We're higher on Jacksonville than a lot of other people, and they're kind of a up and down team, but their ceiling is very high. Like honestly, the Jags with a couple tweaks to the roster and Trevor Lawrence playing a little more consistent, this is a borderline playoff team in my opinion.
Yeah,
They're
and
they're
I mean,
trending in the right direction.
it all comes down to what kind of play you're going to get from Trevor Lawrence. And I say again, like, let's calm the Jets, man. Trevor Lawrence is a baller, and he's going to be one of them. You know, uh,
Generation.
yeah, generational quarterback. Sorry, I had lost my train of thought, but yeah, one of them generational quarterbacks that he's just taking a little bit longer to develop to the NFL game. But once he does, look out.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were just speaking about the Texans playing teams hard. Look, I'm not even gonna turn this game on. The 10-3 Chiefs at the 1-11-1 Texans. Give me the Chiefs. I don't even want to watch this.
I don't know, bro. They might play him tough.
Hey, the Broncos almost beat the Chiefs on Sunday, so you never know. That's why we love the NFL because even in games that everyone believes is going to be a blowout, it turns out to be a close game.
Yeah, and that's because at the end of the day, they're all professional football players. I mean,
Yep.
most of them are on the same level. It's just there are guys that just work harder and are just a little bit more talented.
Would you agree with me that the league in all the major sports, you can include FIFA in it, or football or soccer, whatever you call it. I think that the NFL has the most parity of any league.
Yeah, I agree.
you know, and it's just, if you don't come prepared, you're going to catch a L. So that's why we love this league. Let's go. Speaking of parity, let's go to the 10-2 Vikings at the 5-7 Lions. You know, this is really frustrating to me. And if you're a Viking fan, you got to be just pissed after this because the Lions were actually favored in this game, and the Vikings should have been, really upset at that. They should have been, so disrespected. And yet they get themselves in a hole, down 28-13. You got Kevin O'Connell making mistake after mistake, uncharacteristic, but he did not have a good day. And the Lions put up 34 on them and win 34-23. The thing that I came away from this game saying is Dan Campbell coached circles around Kevin O'Connell, man.
Yeah, and I mean, like 7 weeks ago, bro, we were talking about Dan Campbell literally maybe being out as Lions head coach.
Hmm.
And now this man has coached and I believe saved his job.
Yeah,
And
and they just kind of like stayed the course and never panicked. And you know, it's a good position to play from. You can rally around it when you're like, look, no one believes in us. Everyone thinks we suck. Let's just go out there and compete and see what happens, you know?
yeah, you're gonna call me absolutely crazy here.
Yeah, I will.
But if Detroit gets that 7th seed, bro, they're gonna be dangerous.
Well, two things. They're not going to get the 7th seed, and there's a difference between being dangerous in the regular season and dangerous in the playoffs. Let's go ahead and cross the playoffs off of the list in the Detroit Lion conversation. They might beat the Jets. Let me pull up their schedule here real quick, just to go over it, because the
And
Lions are not making the playoffs.
I'm not a Lions fan, by the way.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm a Colts fan. I just like seeing the Lions do well for some reason.
Honestly, their schedule isn't that hard. They're 6-7. They play at the Jets. That's one of their tougher games remaining. I'm gonna be rooting like crazy for the Jets on Sunday because they just need that win. And I've been talking so much mess about the Lions this year that I need it. But so that's a big game. Then they're at Carolina. I mean, that's very winnable.
Yeah.
Although the Panthers are starting to play better. I mean, sneakily, the Panthers are not out of the playoff race. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because Tampa is slipping up right now.
Man, week 16, that's just ugly, man. You cannot sign me up to watch a Jared Goff versus Sam Darnold game in 2022. I'm sorry.
Bro, you gotta show golf some love. Remember on Twitter?
The thing is that Goff and Darnold are actually both playing all right. They're winning games, and they're protecting the football. So, you know, but so I mean, Lions at Panthers, another winnable game. Bears at Lions, another winnable game, a bad Bears team. And then week 18, Lions at Packers in Lambeau. If Green Bay's
Ooh,
still fighting for the playoffs, that's an automatic L. You know what I
yeah.
mean? They're not going into Lambeau and getting a win. I'm sorry. So I'm
Which
thinking, huh?
which if the Lions win those games, and it might come down to Lions Bears, or I mean Lions Packers 7th seed.
Exactly. Week 18 could be for the 7 seed.
Give me Rodgers over Goff.
Yeah. In Lambeau in January, give me Green Bay. Um, So we'll see. Both teams need to win out in order to get there. Or the Lions can take one more loss, I think, but you know, winnable games. But also, you better show up. Otherwise, you're not gonna win them. Even if it's the Jets or Panthers or even Bears, you're not gonna win them if you don't show up.
Yeah, and I mean, so you would say 7 to 8 wins is pretty darn good for Detroit, right?
Oh yeah, they've already well exceeded my expectations for the year. I thought they were going to be the worst team in the division. And I didn't think they were any better than 5-12. I didn't think they could do any better. But to have 6 wins already, that's a testament. They were 1-6, but since then they've turned it around. So credit to them. Jared Goff, I have to say it. I mean, 300 plus yards, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. The biggest thing on Goff is protecting the football. That's something he did not do last year. He was a turnover machine and had been. That's why McVay soured on him. But he's playing some of the best football of his career. You're seeing guys like DJ Chark and Amon-Ra St. Brown playing well, with him. And then how about rookie wide receiver Jamison Williams makes his long-awaited NFL debut after that torn ACL, and his first NFL catch is a 41-yard touchdown. How about that?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, first of all, congrats to him, and I'm glad to see that he came back healthy, and man, that
Yeah.
guy's explosive, bro. He's very explosive.
You look around the league and you talk about three weapons at receiver like DJ Chark, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jamison Williams. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, and I'm on Ross St. Brown should be up for most improved player because he's having a monster year.
Yeah, but I mean he had a hell of a year last year too. But yeah, I agree. Kirk Cousins of the Vikings, Dalvin Cook held to just 36 combined yards and a fumble lost. And did you see that fumble? It looked like the Vikings were trying to run that Derrick Henry where you hand it off and then he runs up to the line and then throws it over the line for a touchdown, to a tight end.
Yeah,
And to me, man, the Vikings were just getting cute the entire game, trying shit like that, going for it on fourth down. A lot of stupid stuff, going for two. Uh, Kevin O'Connell, I've liked the way he's coached all season long. That was a really bad game from him.
yeah. Um, I agree. And can I ask you a big question?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your take on Kirk Cousins, bro? I mean, he's so inconsistent. Can he lead Minnesota to the promised land or no?
What's the promised land? A championship?
Oh yeah, that's being on top of or on top of the NFL world.
I don't think so. I'll have to see it to believe it. I like Kirk Cousins. I saw him live a bunch at Michigan State. I've always liked his skill set. I liked him when he was a fourth or fifth round pick. I believe he was a fourth round pick by the Redskins. Um, I've always liked Kirk Cousins, but championship, I'll have to see that to believe it. He is a little, inconsistent game to game. I have seen him go into New Orleans and beat Drew Brees in the playoffs, so he's capable of it. But this is a big year, right? This is probably one of his better opportunities. They're 10-3. They're likely gonna, be a top seed in the NFC, depending on how the season ends. So this is the year that we're gonna find out some of the most about Kirk Cousins. We don't know yet. I don't think.
Yeah, absolutely. I, j- I, I just don't know. Seeing the couple times he's been in the playoffs and he hasn't gotten it done, I just don't think that he's the guy to take Minnesota to where they want to be.
Well, I mean, you remember that win over the Saints, though, right?
Oh yeah, yep, I do.
He had a game-winning touchdown pass to Kyle Rudolph. But and he's got weapons. He's got Dalvin Cook, Madison, Justin Jefferson, Thielen, T.J. Hawkinson now. So there's no excuses. You're 10-3. You're hosting the 4-8-1 Colts on Saturday, so that should be a win. Get to 11-3. Get to the who knows, maybe the Vikings at least get the 2 seed, and then you play the 7 seed, and you see what happens in the playoffs. But um, I think they have just as good a shot as anybody. At least going. They could get to the NFC Championship game. After that, we'll have to see.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, let's go Eagles at Giants. The 11-1 Eagles at the 7-4-1 Giants. My thoughts going into this game is you're in New York, the NFC East, divisional football, it's always tough. So I was like, maybe the Giants can steal a win here. They need to after tying with the Commanders and coming back down to earth of late after their hot start to the season. But they get blown out. They're down 21-0 early and lose. They give up 48 points to the Eagles, 48-22. Um, Everyone was praising the Giants defense and defensive coordinator Patrick Graham last year and early this year, but man, the Giants do not look good right now. Do you agree?
Yeah, bro. They're starting to really maybe what you call show true colors.
Yeah,
But this to me is more of just how good the Eagles are.
it is. I mean, I don't think the Eagles are 48 points good. I think the Giants didn't show up. I think the Eagles are damn good, but they're beatable. You're not going to get blown out by the Eagles. Like you can compete with the Eagles. The Giants just don't look any good to me right now. They don't have many weapons. You know, their leading receiver was Richie James. And if you remember him, he was like wide receiver 5 on the 49ers, you know?
Yep.
And one of the big things we said, two categories. Daniel Jones protect the football, which he's been doing all year. But number two was a key point. Saquon Barkley was carrying this team early in the season, remember?
Yep, I do. And he's kind of slowed down a little bit.
The Eagles held him to a combined 48 yards.
Dang.
So if Saquon's not going to be a major threat on offense, and your weapons aren't really they don't scare anybody, then how are you going to score enough points consistently, you know? And if the defense gives up 48, this team's got no shot.
Yeah, I agree. But man, the Eagles, bro, they just might run through the NFC.
Yeah, and they're going to run through the Bears next week in Chicago, so they should get to 13-1. Um but the Giants at 7-5-1, this is the game of the weekend. It's been flexed to Sunday night football. 7-5-1 Giants at the 7-5-1 Commanders. They tied 2 weeks ago, and this is for the series, the winner take all, and the loser likely misses the playoffs. You know
Ooh, we're at those kind of stakes now. My favorite.
exactly. It's a playoff game in DC on Sunday night. Chris Collinsworth is going to be on the call with Tarico, so that's going to be great football, right?
Oh yeah, this is where you're gonna see some hard fought, actual, players getting down and dirty football.
Yep. And I
I,
tell you what, I trust the Commanders a lot more. Give me the Commanders at home to get this win.
you know what? I agree with you because I think this is Henneke time, bro.
Yeah. Yep. Um, yeah, and the Eagles might put up 48 or 50 on the Bears. So not a game I'm looking forward to watching.
Oh,
8-4 Ravens at the 5-7 Steelers. I picked the
ooh,
Steelers to win pregame because of no Lamar Jackson, and you know that Ravens Steeler rivalry. It's always hard fought. Kenny Pickett suffers a concussion in the first quarter and is out for the game. So Mitch Trubisky replaces him. And then Tyler Huntley, who starts at quarterback for the Ravens, he suffers a concussion and he gets replaced by undrafted rookie out of Oregon, Anthony Brown. Remember him?
oh yeah.
The Ravens get out to a 10-0 lead and hang on to win 16-14. I was disappointed by my guy Mitch Trubisky in this game. He made a lot of throws. He was moving the ball down the field, throws for 250 plus yards, but three interceptions. And I don't care who you are, that many interceptions, you're going to lose the game. And just some, bad decisions by Trubisky. Man, it's frustrating because he's got the talent. He can make the throws, you know, but just some poor decision making cost his team really the game. If Trubisky doesn't turn the ball over twice in the red zone, the Steelers take the lead and probably win.
Yep, I agree.
My guy Roquan Smith. Bears fans will tell you he sucks, but Ravens fans will tell you he's the shit, and anyone that knows football will tell you he's really good. He records a sack and an interception in the game, 4.5 sacks and 3 interceptions on the season, doing his thing. I love the combination of Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen at that linebacker spot.
Yeah, man, that's a pretty those are some damn good linebackers to have.
So, Ravens at Browns, big game. Hopefully the Ravens can take care of business. Keep an eye on that game. Cleveland might steal it. And then 5-8 Steelers at the 5-8 Panthers. A nice game of who cares. Give me the give me the Panthers. Actually, I mean, Panthers aren't playing bad football. I mean, Carolina might sneak into the playoff conversation.
Yeah, that's I'm sorry, bro, but that was funny. Um
What
Yeah,
this is the key though. So they're 5-8 Panthers. They're home against the Steelers. That's winnable. Home against the Lions. That's winnable. But then they go to Tampa Bay. That's really gonna probably. I think Panthers at Bucks week 17. That's actually gonna be meaningful football.
yeah.
Uh,
So, if Panthers make the playoffs, do they hire Coach Wilkes?
if they do, they should absolutely. My prediction is they won't though. I think they miss the playoffs. I think the Bucks beat them week 17, even if they're in position. And I'm not gonna back down. I think the Bucks win that division. So, um, let's go Jags at Titans. The 4-8 Jags at the 7-5 Titans. A game the Titans should take care of business. They get out to a 14-7 lead, but the Jags end up pulling away to win 36-22 in Nashville. An impressive win. And for the Titans, just too many turnovers, too many missed opportunities. How about your boy Trevor Lawrence? Throws for 350 plus yards, 4 touchdowns, and no turnovers.
Yeah, man, he's getting better, bro. And
Yeah. He's an absolute future star, a huge road win. How about the Jags going into Tennessee and getting a big win? The Titans, that's a bad look for them, huh?
yeah, yeah. To me, it is. And to me, I thought they were a title contender, but lately they haven't really showed me.
The Titans were a title contender the last 3 years. They're not a title contender this year. They lost AJ Brown. That's the biggest thing. You lose Julio Jones as well. And they're just, now they're probably a playoff team, but, maybe win one game, likely lose. The Titans are just one of those teams that they're the best team in the AFC South, but that's about it.
Yeah,
How about Evan Ingram? A lot of people have forgotten about this name. Tight end Evan Ingram goes to Jacksonville and has kind of revitalized his career. 11 catches for 162 yards and 2 touchdowns against Tennessee.
yeah, man. He's having a big year, and sometimes going to a different team is all it takes to have have a comeback in your career.
Yeah, and you go from Daniel Jones to Trevor Lawrence. That's a big upgrade, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, for sure.
One play that really played a role in the outcome of this game. A pass right before halftime should have been intercepted by rookie corner Roger McCreary, who I remember you being high on in the draft. It goes right through his hands, should have been an interception, and ends up getting caught in the end zone by Zay Jones for a touchdown to give the Jags a halftime lead. Come on, Roger McCreary, you got to catch that.
Yeah, and those are the difference between winning and losing.
Yeah, an
You know,
opportunity right in your hands. You got to make a play.
we seen that last year with, you know, if the 49ers make that pick in the fourth quarter, they
Yep.
go to play for the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
and Roger McCreary, bro, he is good. He was damn good at Auburn, so I think he's gonna be pretty good.
hmm Tough game for Derrick Henry. 155 combined yards and a touchdown, but 2 fumbles lost, and a tough loss for the Titans. The Jags, believe it or not, bro, the Jags are the closest team to the Titans in that division, and they're only 2 games back. It's a 7-6 Titans. The Jags are 5-8.
Yeah, that's the problem. Or the Jags play the Titans. Is that what you said?
No, they just beat the Titans, and now they're just 2 games back. They're second place in the AFC South and just 2 games back of the division lead.
Ooh, that's interesting.
So this is their schedule too. They've already beat the Titans. They're home against the Cowboys. I mean, Dallas probably wins that, but that's a game to keep an eye on. If Jacksonville wins that, look out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
for sure.
then they're at the Jets. That's a tough game. At the Texans, that's winnable. And then week 18, the last game of the year, Titans at Jags. I mean, potentially that could be a big game.
Yeah, bro. Man, Can you imagine if they win the AFC South?
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible. For the Titans, they play at the Chargers on Sunday.
Oh,
That's a tough game, right?
yeah, that's a sneaky loss. I'm going with LA.
I'm going Titans, but I can understand why you're saying that. Um, then they're home against the Texans, home against the Cowboys, tough game, and then at Jacksonville week 18. So keep an eye on the AFC South might not be over yet. And that
Yeah, that's
that win by Jacksonville on Sunday really opened it up a little bit.
yeah. And you know what? I'm gonna be rooting for Jacksonville because it's something different, bro. They come out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean the way the Cowboys played against Houston, I'm gonna pick I'm gonna pick the Jags to win that too. And then Titans Chargers, give me the Titans. You're gonna take the Chargers. That's another big game. So a lot of fun games, a lot of big games coming up this week. Um, the 9-3 Chiefs at the 3-9 Broncos. So that I picked the Broncos to win, just kind of joking around, hoping for one of those fluky games. The Chiefs jump out to a 27-0 first half lead, and most people at that point probably turn the channel, but the Broncos actually rally back, and the Chiefs only win by 6, 34-28. The Broncos had opportunities to steal this win. Did you see some of this game?
Yeah, I did, and the Broncos played well. They just, again, bro, bad teams don't know how to win.
Well, one of the issues is Russell Wilson suffered a concussion in the fourth quarter, so he got knocked out of the game, and then it was up to the backup Brett Rippon, and he's not going to do it.
Yeah,
He's
and
he's not Mark Rippon.
don't worry though, Denver. You won't have to suffer through another one of those because I believe that Coach Hackett's going to be gone.
Yeah, and we'll see who they hire. They better get it right the next hire. Um, Patrick Mahomes throws 3 interceptions. That's something to keep an eye on. He had a couple of kind of bad ones in this game that he can't do. And what was the thing that knocked the Chiefs out of the playoffs in the AFC Championship game last year? Turnovers by Patrick Mahomes, right?
Yep.
So he's got to keep an eye on that, and Chiefs fans should as well. Um, I said Broncos linebacker Josie Jewell records 2 interceptions, the first 2 picks of his career coming in this game, and rocking the number 47 in a Broncos uni. I tweeted out he's looking like prime John Lynch out there.
Mm.
um, so 4-9 Cardinals at the 3-10 Broncos. It's looking like it's gonna be Colt McCoy against Brett Rippon. How you seeing that? I mean, a who cares game, right?
Yeah, but I'm going to actually go. I think Colt McCoy is a better quarterback.
Yeah, I do too. I think the Cardinals get the win, but at this point, they're kind of meaningless wins. The Cardinals aren't making the playoffs, and
Yeah.
we'll talk more about them coming up because they had an opportunity on Monday night and blew it, but some injuries and stuff like that hurt as well. Let's go 4-8 Panthers at the 7-5 Seahawks. The Panthers jump out to a 20-7 first half lead and hang on to win 30-24. Um, Seattle now, struggling. They're now 7-6. They've lost 3 of their last 4 games. To me, I think the biggest reason the Seahawks are struggling now, 2 reasons. One is Kenneth Walker's been hurt. They need Kenneth Walker back badly. Don't you agree?
Yeah, bro. He's important.
It's crazy how big of a role he's playing on this team as a rookie, right? Like he goes down and they start losing.
Yeah, and he's the clear cut future, in my opinion, over there in Seattle.
Yeah, absolutely. And you might not like this take, but I think we're starting to see Geno Smith come back down to earth a little bit, bro. And you get into December football when you better win or you don't make the playoffs. I'm starting to. This is starting to become the Geno Smith of old a little bit. He had a couple turnovers. I'm not trusting Geno. They need Kenneth Walker back badly. I can't. I don't trust Geno to carry this team to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, but you still got to give him good credit though, bro. He's having a pretty good year.
He is, but I can. I'm old enough to remember when Geno Smith had 2 good years with the Jets and should have got them into the playoffs and didn't. At least one good year with the Jets and couldn't get them to the playoffs. And that was a good Jets team. I believe they still had Darrell Revis and guys like that. Um, you know, so a big game tomorrow night. The 9-4 49ers at the 7-6 Seahawks on Thursday night. I mean, give me the Niners. Give me Brock Purdy and the Niners to go into Seattle and get that win.
Yeah, bro. And man, I can't wait to talk about Brock Purdy.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, I'm
balling.
going Niners.
I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of looking at this is a game the Seahawks can win. You're at home. Hopefully, you got Kenneth Walker back. He's expected to be back. He practiced this week. It's a must win for Seattle. They're backed up against it. They can't fall to 7-7. I'm gonna change my pick. I'm gonna take the Seahawks.
Oh, that's interesting, bro. But I'm going Niners because, bro, that defense held the greatest of all time to 7 points.
Yeah, but I mean, the Saints held the greatest of all time to 3 points for all but the final 5 minutes of the, or all but the final 3 minutes of that Saints Bucks game.
He won though, right?
Yes. But the Bucks are having some, offensive issues. It's like you get down to the final clutch and Brady makes that offense work, but I think that offense is struggling. It's like they're playing through mud, and they need to start playing better.
They are, but right now, if you was to ask me who would win, Tampa or Seattle, I'm going Tampa, bro.
Well, me too. Um, but Niners at Seattle, it's a division rivalry. Niners looking for the sweep. You're getting Kenneth Walker back. Give me Seattle in a Brock Purdy come back down to reality game. The Niners are still damn good. They're still probably the best defense in football. But give me Seattle to find a way to get a big win. I think Pete Carroll's going to have them boys ready to go on Thursday night.
Ooh, Thursday night. So tomorrow, that's a big ass game.
Yeah, it is. I can't wait. This is going to be, we got Thursday night, we got all day Saturday, we got Sunday, we got Monday night. It's going to be a lot of good football coming up. Just what we want, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, we got to enjoy it while it's here, bro, because it's almost gone.
Absolutely. But then we'll start talking basketball, NBA, and doing our rewatches. So we're gonna stay busy all year round. Um, the 6-6 Bucks at the 8-4 Niners. Jimmy G out until the playoffs. So Brock Purdy steps in, Mr. Irrelevant, seventh round pick, and he's playing better than any of us could have anticipated. The Niners jump out to a 35-0 lead and win 35-7. Brock Purdy, doesn't throw for a lot of yards, 150 plus yards, but 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. What are your thoughts on Brock Purdy? It's shocking to me, Mr. Irrelevant, seventh round pick, and he's playing some damn good football. It helps. He's loaded with talent around him, but he's doing his part.
Yeah. First of all, can we take that name away? Because there's been
No,
a few,
what? Why?
I mean, there's been a few guys who have been Mr. Irrelevant that have played pretty decent.
Yeah, but it's not a slight against the player. It's the spot you're picked. I saw Florio say something about it. How be like it's disrespectful to call him that. We're not calling the player Mr. Irrelevant. We're calling the selection, the pick, the spot.
Yeah,
I would
which
never call Brock Purdy irrelevant, but it's the pick.
I mean, yeah, I see it from your point, and also it gives them motivation. It'll be like, oh, you want to pick me last? Okay,
Yeah,
I'm going to show you why I should have been picked sooner.
yeah. I don't have a problem with it because we're a player friendly podcast. We're never gonna shit on a player, and go over the top and kill any player. But Mr. Irrelevant, in my opinion, yeah, it's not about the player; it's about where you're picked, and it's just kind of funny. You're the last pick, damn near undrafted. I mean, yeah, we've seen plenty undrafted free agents do a great job. I mean, my guy Jack Sanborn, there with the Bears, undrafted and doing his thing.
Yeah, I agree. And oh yeah, back when we were doing our draft prep, I'm not trying to brag, but I did mention Brock Purdy. If you remember, I said I thought that the kid was going to be pretty good.
Well, so tell me what you see in him because he's winning, he's doing his job, but do I think that he's an NFL quarterback? He's making some good throws, but I don't expect it to last. I'm much more confident in a Taylor Henneke or even a Tyler Huntley than I think I am a Brock Purdy. Am I wrong?
I mean, those guys have so those guys ever sorry, excuse me, my mind's lost. Those guys have experience. Brock Purdy is just going, but to me, bro, the kid has a swagger. He has the ice in his veins, and I mean, he looked like really good Sunday.
Yeah. Um, but we can't overreact to one game. I like I said, I think he comes back down to earth on Thursday night. And then maybe people are talking a different tune. I think the first game Brock Purdy struggles, then everyone's gonna start talking about Jimmy G again. You know, I like the story of Brock Purdy. I think he's doing a good job, but do I expect it to last? No, I don't.
Yeah.
Now, he's a good pick and he can be a good backup in this league. I don't see starter in him. Do you?
I do.
Maybe if he does, then more power to him. But does he have the arm strength, the accuracy, the all those things, the intangibles? You talk about being a winner, that's huge. But we'll see. I mean, I think even if let's go into the next year, I think Brock Purdy is your third string quarterback, right?
Yeah. I mean, man, bro, I would love for him to come to Indy and give it a try. You know,
Yeah, but you also wanted to see what Sam Ellinger could do, and you were high on Jacob Easton.
but
The
Eason,
Colts need to the Colts need to shoot for higher than that.
okay, I mean, to be honest though, Eason never got a shot.
Yeah, but I welcome Easton. Let's give Easton a shot. I'm confident we're not going to see that much.
Okay, but look, bro, Purdy, I got to watch him for the damn near 6 years he was at Iowa State. This kid is one of those under the radar quarterbacks. And listen, I I called Heineke good. I'm gonna do another smoking hot take. I think Purdy is the next Tyler Henneke.
All right. Um, I mean, I like to see Taylor Henneke win a playoff game too. You know, I like Taylor Henneke, the regular season quarterback. Everyone fell in love with him in that playoff game against Tampa Bay. I didn't as much. So I want to see it. I hope the Commanders make the playoffs this year so we can see Taylor Henneke out there.
Sure.
Um so the Niners again avoid major, catastrophe for the Niners would have been Jimmy G being done for the season. They're lucky that he's not, that he can return in time for the playoffs. They almost had catastrophe again on Sunday as Debo Samuel left the game with a knee injury. But it turns out he's all right. I mean, it's not as bad as people thought. A sprained MCL and a sprained ankle. So he avoids major injury and expected to be back soon. Niners need to be breathing a sigh of relief on those two injuries,
Yep.
because they want to win a championship this year. And if either of those guys are out for the year, they're not, right?
Yeah.
Um, What are your thoughts on Tampa Bay? They're 6-7. You know, uh, is it simply get to the playoffs, win the division, have a home playoff game, and we'll kind of reset and see how it goes in the playoffs? Is that your mindset, or are you worried about this team?
Man, like I said, with Brady, anything is possible, but man, they need some more offensive production, bro.
Yeah,
That offense is flat right now. Mike Evans isn't doing that well. Julio needs to step up, and Fournette needs to, step up a little bit more. That offense is just looking bad.
yeah, I agree. I'm still confident in this team, though. I know they've looked bad. They looked really bad on Sunday. I picked them to beat the Niners. They looked bad, but I still, anytime you have Tom Brady, I have faith. And in my opinion, this team can get bored and with the regular season, especially Brady. And they know championship is the only goal. Like home field, win the division. I think part of the reason the Bucks have had such a bad year is the division they're in is so bad. I think if the Saints were better or the uh, Falcons were better, that they would perform better. But they're like bored knowing that they can make the playoffs with like 7 or 8 wins.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, if you go back to the year they won the championship, they got swept by the Saints. They looked bad in the opening playoff game against the Commanders. But guess what? When they came up against real competition, that's when we started to see them hit on all cylinders. I think the same thing might happen this year in the playoffs. I don't care who they're up against; they're going to be a tough out.
Look, bro.
Nobody wants to face Brady in the playoffs.
So if they go 8-9,
Yes.
Brady wins the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Never have anything to say about Brady ever again. That is negative.
All right, but I mean, I can remember you saying something similar when they beat the Chiefs. I can remember you saying something similar. Remember when he that comeback against the Rams and they still lost, but that comeback last year in the playoffs against the Rams was right there with the Falcons Super Bowl comeback.
It was, but bro, look, you went 8-9 in the regular season. Okay, that's below 500. That is that would never ever be done. In my
Yeah, but man, if anyone can do it, it's Brady. Like Brady does
yeah,
not
that's
care about the regular season.
that's what I was saying is like there's there's a difference between Brady. Brady didn't give a damn if he was 7-10. As long as he
Yeah.
got in that playoffs, bro, it's a whole different mindset. It's
Yep.
like
And then
Jordan Clutch.
yeah, and it's one game, right? And then it's clutch. And who plays better in that one game? And Brady's always gonna play his best when it's do or die. I mean, he played like shit that entire Saints game until it was do or die the final two possessions, right?
Yep.
So you just can't count him out. Let's go Sunday night because we need to spend some time on this game. This was a big game. A lot of national media hype surrounding this game. It got flexed to Sunday night. The 8-4 Dolphins at the 6-6 Chargers. If you remember back in the draft, when the Dolphins took Tua over Justin Herbert, and a lot of people criticized the move, especially recently, saying imagine where the Dolphins would be at with Justin Herbert right now, and blah blah blah. Um, Big game in LA. A lot of people picked the Dolphins to win this game. The Chargers jump out to a 10-0 first half lead and win 23-17. Bro, to me, what stood out the most, Tua did not look good. How about you?
Yeah, I agree, and that's shocking because Tua is in the MVP conversation.
Yes. But
You know,
also, not just Tua, the offense didn't look good. And they were not committed to the run game at all. They barely ran the ball at all. And Mark McDaniel, I'm going to call him, came from Kyle Shanahan's offense with the Niners. And what do the Niners do? The Niners do not fall in love with the pass game. They run the ball, right?
Yes.
And that's something that Mike McDaniel's forgetting about. He's got Raheem Mostert. He's got I always forget his name. Is it Elijah Mitchell or something like that?
A lot. Yep.
No, Jeff Wilson. He's got Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert. Man, run the ball, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I agree. But I want to go back to that other comment that you made. You know, when people were talking about Tua or Herbert should have been picked over Tua to go to Miami.
Yeah.
Bro, if you were to give, and this is just an opinion, if you were to give Justin Herbert that talent on the outside, bro, Miami would just be unbelievable.
Yeah, but I've got a rebuttal for you. Justin Herbert has that talent on the outside right now.
Whoa, he don't have a Tyreek Hill, bro.
He's got a Keenan Allen. He's got a Mike Williams. He's got Josh Palmer. He's got Gerald Everett. He's got Austin Eckler. Herbert
Yeah,
Herbert's got hella talent, bro.
those guys don't match up to what Miami has.
Man, Tyreek's overrated. Did you see Tyreek lose that ball in the light? It should have been a touchdown. Tyreek just lost the ball.
I did. Oh my goodness, you're calling Tyreek Hill overrated?
I mean, a little bit. I mean, look, you add Tyreek Hill to Jalen Waddle and those weapons, you should be a contender, right?
Yeah.
I don't think the Dolphins are a contender. A lot of people were national media and Dolphins fans were trying to tell us they were contenders. I never bought it. And real quick, do I get to do a victory lap after talking about the Dolphins coming back down to earth? What did I say last week on the podcast? That is a streaky team. They were streaky under Brian Flores. They were streaky earlier this year. They were 3-0. Then they're 3-3. Then they're 8-3. Now they're about to be 8-6, bro. They're a streaky team, right?
Yes, you get the credit for sure.
And so it's a lot of factors why I don't trust in this Dolphins team. Tua, I got questions on. Mark McDaniel, I got questions on. He reminds me of Mark Trestman. I'm gonna keep saying it. Um, they don't commit to the run game. They get too pass happy. Um, you know, all those things add up to I think, you know, keep an eye on the Patriots. Honestly, I think the Patriots might finish the season ahead of the Dolphins.
Oh, Patriots over the Dolphins,
Yes.
bro. It's a pretty hot take.
I'm gonna make my predictions right now. I'm gonna look at the schedule. Um, because Dolphins are 8-5. I think they lose in Buffalo on Saturday night and fall to 8-6. Then they're home to Green Bay. I've got them losing that game. So then they'll be on a 4-game losing streak, sitting at 8-7. Then who they play? They go to Foxborough in December, week 17. Give me the Patriots. Bro, the Dolphins might go 8-9 or 9-8 at best, in my opinion.
That would be a pretty bad class.
Yeah, I'm gonna man, Mark McDaniel, I might start calling him Cliff McDaniel.
Yeah.
You know who I'm referencing?
You said Cliff McDaniel?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Mark Kingsbury.
Yep. We all know the that he's known for those collapses. So
Yeah,
something to keep an eye on, man. The Dolphins might be coming back down to earth in a hurry.
yeah. Which is man, that'll make my take look pretty bad. But
Well, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, you're not alone in loving the Dolphins. The national media was all over the Dolphins, and you look on paper when you add a guy from the Shanahan offense who's supposed to open up the offense, and you add Tyreek Hill and Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson, you're supposed to be good, right?
yep,
So I mean, but you agree, you're taking the Bills on Saturday night. So next time we talk, the Dolphins are likely going to be on a 3-game losing streak.
Yeah, that's so because yeah, they're for sure. I mean, I'm I shouldn't have said for sure, but to me, they're losing to Green Bay.
So then we're talking 4 game losing streak, you know?
Yeah.
So it's getting real. We're getting to that time of year where it's getting real. Um, Titans at Chargers, where we already talked about. I'm taking the Titans. You're taking the Chargers.
Yep. I'm gonna take the Chargers.
The only reason, look, and I talked about the Chargers' weapons and the amount of talent they have. The only reason that I don't believe in the Chargers is the head coach. He keeps making boneheaded decisions. That Brandon Staley, if the Chargers miss the playoffs, do you agree that they need to move on from Brandon Staley?
uh, I I don't yet, bro, because they're still there. You know, if they make
Yeah.
the,
How many years in a row are they going to be loaded with talent and miss the playoff, have playoff expectations and miss the playoffs?
I don't think they missed though.
You don't?
No.
Ooh, I'm gonna go ahead. I almost guarantee you the Chargers miss the playoffs.
Oh man.
You're
Uh,
talking this year?
yeah, they're gonna make it, bro.
All right. Well, they're what? What's their record? Eight,
Isn't it
seven,
like,
and six.
yeah, 7-6. Yep.
So they play the Titans. We differ on who wins that. So 8-6 or 7-7. They go to Indy. I think we both agree should be a win.
No,
Well, then how are you going to pick them to go to the playoffs if they can't beat the Colts?
they're dropping that one, bro, and that's just being biased. Okay, I'm sorry, but
They do end the season on a pretty easy route. They host the Rams and they play at Denver.
yeah, those are winnable games. So let's see, 10-7 gets you in, right?
It should. I think they go 9-8. So we'll see. Um, let's go Monday night. Patriots at Cardinals. Big game for both teams. Bigger game for the Patriots as the Cardinals are already about out of the playoffs. Um, the Cardinals actually take a 13-7 first half lead, but the Patriots rally to win 27-13. The big news, bro, Kyler Murray on the third play of the game goes down with a non-contact knee injury. The tests come back and he's got a torn ACL, out for the season and might miss some of the year next year. Huge blow for the Cardinals and Kyler Murray, huh?
Yeah, that's very unfortunate, man, because this happened so late in the season. So that means his rehab and everything, and he might not even play again until middle next season.
Yeah, tough blow for the Cardinals, and you hate to see it. I get sick seeing the non-contact knee injuries, man. I remember when Derrick Rose did it, and you see it in the NFL nowadays, and it's just gross. It's like, why the hell is your knee just blowing out non-contact like that? You know?
Turf, bro, get rid of
Well,
turf.
I think the Cardinals play on natural grass. You remember they wheel that shit out in the sun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yep. You're right, but I mean, like for the other facilities, like the indoor facilities and
Yeah,
some of the other.
usually that's a big reason, but I think with the Cardinals, even on natural grass, you're still seeing it blow out non-contact. I hate to see it, you know?
Yeah, and that's a hard injury to like when you're in open field like that, bro. That's got to be a hard thing to like be able to make sure that you don't, because you could like do a juke move and then your knee buckles. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
Kyler's so, Kyler is so fast that I just think that that was a freak accident. Like he was fast, and you seen he made a move, and then his knee unfortunately tore.
yeah. And hopefully mentally he can recover from it and be ready to make those same moves, right? And trust his knee. And that because that's the big issue. That's what Derrick Rose had to deal with is like trusting your knee after that to make the same move and it's not just gonna blow out. But tough blow for Kyler Murray, and tough start to his season, man. He can't seem or not season but career. in the NFL. He can't really seem to get things to go his way, you know?
Yeah, I was having a debate with somebody yesterday. We were talking about Kyler, and he was like, well, I'm starting to think Kyler's not that good. I said, no, 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 hold on. Kyler's very, very talented. It's just I don't think he's been put in the right spot or position to win.
So now I'm going to ask you, because I agree with you. You make some points there. Does that go to what I've been saying for a couple years? Cliff Kingsbury is not the guy. He's holding Kyler Murray back.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I admitted that last year when I told you that they were going to keep that winning streak going and lost what the last seven. I
Yeah,
mean, you can't. That's on the head coach. I don't care about anything. That's on the head coach. You're not having your guys prepared, and you have to go into every game, no matter if you're 10-2 or 7-7. You have to go into every game wanting to win, and he just didn't have them prepared.
absolutely. And, I mean, what kind of organization looks at what happened last year at the end of the year and says, we're going to sign our head coach to an extension?
Yeah, that's what got me, bro. Is I don't. That was a little weird to me, but I think Cliff is gone, and this may be a long shot, but I think that job goes to somebody who Kyler's really gonna love. Okay, you give Kyler Sean Payton, bro. Sky's the limit.
I mean, that Kyler would love that. Um, I don't think Sean Payton goes there. I think he might go to the Chargers in place of Brandon Staley. I'm not sure. I know Sean Payton's likely going to go somewhere, but here's an idea. I know he just had a first year, but man, you know who I think would be a perfect fit for Kyler Murray? And there's been rumors that he wants to go to the NFL.
Oh, goodness, let me get this.
He just he just got his quarterback a Heisman.
Oh, Lincoln Riley,
Yes.
bro. You know what? I was telling USC fan or a USC fan that on Twitter. I'm like, if Lincoln gets that offer, bro, he's gone.
Yeah.
That's his dream. That's what he's always wanted to do. I mean, he ain't gonna say it on national TV, but behind closed doors, if you ask Lincoln, if you would go to the NFL in the right opportunity, of course he would.
I mean, either way we break it down, you look at the roster of Kyler Murray, James Conner, DeAndre Hopkins, Hollywood Brown, Zach Ertz. I mean, I know some of these guys got hurt or were suspended or whatever. Way too talented of a team to be 4-9, right?
Absolutely. I mean, shoot, you have DeAndre Hopkins and then uh Robbie Anderson, right?
Mm-hmm. And then
Yeah, I mean,
Hollywood Brown too.
yeah, there's just no excuse.
No, none at all. So you gotta fire Cliff Kingsbury, in my opinion. That's step one. And then get the right head coach and go from there. But Cardinals are in a very tough spot. And now on top of it, their GM is stepping away indefinitely due to health issues. Right now, man, the worst team to be in the NFL is the Arizona Cardinals, in my opinion. They can't get anything to go their way.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, I just know that if I'm Arizona, I sit down with Kyler in the off season and say, "Hey, who do you want us to go get? Like, who do you think you would be able to gel with, and who do you trust as your head
Yeah.
coach?" Because we know for a fact, and you can see it on the sidelines, people say it's the heat of the moment, but Kyler does not have trust in Cliff Kingsbury.
No, we've seen it. We've seen him saying calm the hell down and shit like that. So Kyler wants someone that he trusts, and a guy like Sean Payton or something like that would be, ideal.
You know
Um,
what, bro? Even Eric Bieniemy,
yeah, I was just thinking that, or Byron Leftwich or someone like that.
like get him get him a fresh body in there. You know, like I said, somebody who can communicate well with him because him and Cliff are just not working out, bro.
A
In the
name to keep an eye on in Arizona, maybe someone like Frank Reich.
really,
But I'm saying that could be the hire. I'm not saying I agree with it. But there's already been a lot of talk about Frank Reich. Like he's gonna get hired this offseason. And you know me, I'm gonna kill whoever does it.
yeah,
Um, but let's spend some time on New England real quick. A big win in Arizona. The Patriots get a big road win. They get to 7-6. You know, people were about ready to bury this Patriots team like three, four, 5 times this year. But they stay tough. They keep grinding. One thing about a Bill Belichick team is they're never gonna quit or give up. They're 7-6. They go to Vegas coming up. That's an opportunity to get to 8-6. That's a big game. Big opportunity for the Patriots to go into Vegas and get a big win, you know?
yeah, absolutely. I agree. And you know, you can never ever count out Coach Bill Belichick, man. He's great, and that's what he does. If he knows he has the playoffs on the line, bro, he's gonna get his team prepared and ready to go win those games.
I mean, if we go all the way back to like week 4, remember at one point Mac Jones was hurt and the Patriots were 1-3.
Yeah, yep.
So just to be in this position is crazy. And I'm telling you what, if Bill Belichick makes the playoffs and maybe steals a playoff game with Matt Patricia as his offensive play caller, this might be the best coaching job of Bill Belichick's career.
Not only that, but how about you know, you definitely got to put him as maybe the greatest NFL coach of all time.
He's absolutely in the conversation. I mean, there's some pretty big names in there, like Bill
Yeah,
Parcells and Bill Walsh, and
yep.
you know, a lot of big names.
But
John Madden. I mean, shit.
but man,
Vince
how does he do it,
Lombardi, George
bro?
Hallis. Go ahead.
How does Bill Belichick do it? Like I mean, you have talent, but you're also not the most talented team in the NFL, and you still have a shot to make the playoffs. When before the season started, a lot of people didn't have trust in Mac Jones, and they wrote the Patriots off.
I think these are actually what Bill Belichick enjoys the most is when everyone counts him out and he knows he doesn't have a top, 10 NFL roster, and he's gonna find a way to grind out wins with a below average roster. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, plus Belichick, when Brady left, he was tired of hearing that he needed Brady to win games.
Yep, absolutely. A big play in this game. DeAndre Hopkins is supposed to be like your best player, and he's holding the ball out, recklessly with one hand. He gets it knocked out, and Patriots linebacker Raekwon McMillan picks it up and returns it 23 yards for a touchdown. That type of shit you can't do. D Hop, he's one of the best receivers in the game. He needs to do a little bit more than that.
Yeah, and they were in the game at the time, bro. They were actually
Yeah.
playing them pretty tough, and
They had a lead. They were up 13-7, but
yeah,
then they fell apart late.
yeah, and but man, credit to that Patriots defense, bro. They are good.
Yep. So looking forward to seeing how the season finishes again. Those are our bold picks or bold predictions. A lot of them in there. One of the ones I'm writing is the Patriots to make the playoffs. And so at 7-6, they've got some work to do. It starts on Sunday in Vegas. Let's see if they can get a big win against the Raiders. But man, so much to look forward to tomorrow night, Saturday all day, Sunday all day, Monday night. So much good football on deck, bro. I can't wait for week 15 to get started.
Absolutely, bro. Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. Like I said, we're getting down to the contenders and the pretenders.
Yeah, and hopefully Amanda doesn't call me out our Facebook group this week.
Good job, Amanda. That was a hit. Um,
Well, good shit as always, man.
before we close out here, bro, can I say something?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so as you know, I'm a big college football fan, and we lost a legend. And I just want to say, for our listeners, rest in peace to Coach Mike Leach, and thank you, Coach, for making college football unique and different than what it is. Your interviews were sensational. So I just wanted to give a shout out and say, pray for Coach Leach and his family, bro.
Absolutely. You know, a great coach and gone too soon, he was too young, what, like 61, 62,
Yeah, yep, 61 and yep, 61 exactly.
and coaching earlier this year. And, whenever he did, interviews and whatever, he looked, full of life. And so it sucks to see and it's frustrating, but a hell of a coach, and his shadow, his legacy will last on for a long time.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the just watching the love from these other coaches, and I posted the other day in the coaching, or I mean, in our Facebook page, which people can check it out. It's called Alex Lincoln Friends Podcast. Uh, anyway, I posted in there about his coaching tree, bro. Those were some incredible names.
Yeah, big names all across the board. He had a major impact in college football and in football in general, and so the football world mourns him and will remember him for a long time. So what a great legacy Mike Leach leaves, and a hell of a coach. And rest in peace.
Absolutely.
So awesome episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Stay tuned. We're gonna keep these episodes coming out. We'll do some rewatches along the way. Try to get some interviews out as well. And have a great week, guys. Peace out.